And yes, it's going to be heavy and it's going to be very overwhelming at times. But here's the thing, when you come in the presence of an alpha male, he's going to be able to ground you out of that. He's going to be able to calm that down. Your central nervous system is going to respond in a way that's soothed and comforted just by being in his presence. And additionally, by his conversation. Because he's going to say things to you like, baby, I understand. It's okay. It's okay to not be okay. I got us today. I got the kids today. Take some time for you. You ain't got to do it by yourself. Like that's the way that an alpha male is going to position himself to be of value instead of, again, a broken masculine beta male who's going to, you over here, here you go again. You always bringing stress and negativity. There is a such thing now as bringing negativity or stress. But again, a lot of times what a guy will, a broken masculine man, would designate or try to say is negativity and stress. It's just things he don't know how to handle. Oh boy, we're gonna hurt some feelings today. It's things when a man cannot handle you and what you come with because it's initially uncomfortable. He looks at that discomfort as you doing something wrong instead of being a reflection of something he's just strictly not able to handle. Meanwhile, again, what an alpha male is going to do in any situation where you as a woman, you're an overthinker. You may get overwhelmed sometime. You may get exhausted sometime. He's going to say, okay, I know my job is to protect and provide. And that goes beyond just money and physics. That goes into the emotional and the spiritual as well. My queen is not spiritually grounded right now. She's not emotionally stable right now. She's not mentally at peace right now. So I need to provide those things. I need to protect her from whatever it is bombarding her, additional tasks on her to-do list. Things all over the place, a mounting schedule of to-do lists. I need to protect her from that. I need to protect her from those. So we're going to sort that out. I need to protect her from all of these fears and narratives that she's inherited from times where she's been mishandled, or maybe even her own childhood as she's working through things in her own healing journey. I need to provide some clarity, some stability in that. That's one of the benefits of dealing with an alpha male. This isn't him fixing you. Don't get me wrong. He's not coming in to fix you, but he's coming in to lead. And people think of leading as he gonna take over all the decisions and he gonna come in and impose himself on your worth and your purpose in life and basically eradicate you. No. When we talk about leadership in the healthy masculine sense, we're talking about a man who knows how to lead you to the desired end goal, whatever that is. So if your desired end goal is to be at peace and to be safe and secure, he knows how to lead you there. From wherever you at, he knows how to lead you there. And he's cultivated the version of himself that can lead you there. So long as you allow him to now. I'm not saying he's gonna override your resistance and you just not wanting to, but a lot of times that's not what y'all are dealing with. A lot of times y'all are dealing with men who don't even know how to lead you there because they don't know how to lead themselves. Again, because you're used to dealing with beta males who are led by their emotions. And they think it's masculine because the emotions is anger. But they can't handle it. Any emotion they can't handle, it tells me it's a broken masculine man. This is not a healthy masculine alpha male. Healthy alpha masculine men, 99% of the time can handle their emotions. It's not that they never slip. Now, I never want to paint this picture of this perfect dude, but you're going to see a generality of, if I ain't got it on any level, I know my man do. That's what you're going to feel with an alpha male. And I'm not talking about just finances. If I ain't got it in terms of understanding and clarity and confidence, certainty about this, I know my man got it. I know he got me. That's one of the benefits of dealing with a truly alpha male. Another truly benefit of dealing with a truly alpha male is provision. Let's go there with it, because people like to avoid that. Well, everybody ain't got no, let me tell you something. No man is comfortable being mediocre or being resourceful or resourceless. No man is comfortable not being able to say yes to you, knowing that you deserve the world. No man is comfortable looking at his children and knowing that they got to take what they can get because he's not put himself in position to give them what they deserve. No man is comfortable knowing that he's coming to a job where he's going to be told this and told that, but he can't express his true purpose and will and infrastructure and ideas onto the world. He can't do it. No man is comfortable. So why do I say an alpha male can truly provide financially? And this is why I'm so against the shaming of women who say you got to meet this particular threshold in order to be in my life of finances. I got to see some finances. Because an alpha male has conquered the versions of himself or the levels of himself that's held him back from being able to have those resources. An alpha male has identified those things. Okay, you don't have this skill, go get the skill. You got too much pride and ego to go get mentorship, go get pride and mentorship. Now by defeating your ego and being in the driver's seat of that ego instead of vice versa. A true alpha male, when a man has money, I don't want you to look at it like he's good or if he doesn't, it's like it's bad. But the reason why ambition is truly attractive to a feminine woman is because you know internally that requires something of that man that comes from that healthy masculine. To get up every day and take a L and then keep going, that's a healthy masculine man that doesn't personalize everything that doesn't go his way. As opposed to, when a man is not going to go try and he's just down and out, you can walk past this man every day and you going to work, but he ain't going to work because he got told no yesterday whenever he applied or he ain't heard nothing back. You're not dealing with a man that can lead you. You're not dealing with a man that makes you feel safe. And yes, it's going to also show in his bank account. I'm gonna keep it real with you. That's not to say if he didn't got $100,000, he's trash. No. But first off, an alpha male has priority. Like first things first, I gotta make sure I can provide a financial fortress for my family. Even if I hit hard times in the relationship at some point, I'm not coming in with struggle of. And no alpha male is gonna be cool with that. Secondly, I gotta make sure I'm in control enough of my impulses and not trying to be validated or impress other people to where I'm spending money recklessly because I'm gonna have a family one day. If I don't have one now, I'm gonna have children one. I'm gonna have a queen one day. And she gonna need to be able to take days off, weeks off, months off, if she's gonna have my children or if she's gonna have mental health days or if she wants to pursue her own thing. So I need to get in position now. An alpha male is a well-positioned man for everything that he says that he wants. There's going to even Jesus said, hey, look, let me look at this fruit this tree is producing. You tell a tree by the fruit that it produces, right? The fruit that it bears. An alpha male is going to have fruit. Again, not perfect, not fully realized, but y'all know what I'm talking about. If you've even seen an alpha male, you were able to see fruit in his life. Like, oh, I can see what he's cultivated. I can see what he's worked on. I can see what he's developed. An alpha male understands that finances play a part in everything internally it takes to accumulate and to earn and have the skill set to continue to earn whatever financial needs that the family may have. He's going to do that. He's going to do it beforehand. He's going to continue to do it in the relationship. He's provisional. And again, that goes beyond just the finances. I don't know if y'all are getting what I'm saying. Put me, if I'm adding any value to you right now, if I'm making any sense to you right now, put me down in the chat. I'm looking in the chat. But he's provisional. And provision and protection beyond just the surface level, they go hand in hand. How can you protect something that you can't provide resources for whenever it's needed? How? How can you provide for somebody and you can't protect them from the worst version of yourself internally? How can you provide any security or safety for a woman? You can't even protect her from the lack of security you have within yourself. How can you provide any type of peace of mind and you ain't got no peace of mind ever? You're constantly in battle with your own demons. How are you going to protect and provide anything for this woman? Again, not just financial, but that matters as well. Because I don't want you guys to look at it one-dimensionally like, oh, if he does have a bankroll, if he got, good money or whatever, he got a good job, then he's an alpha. No. Because what you'll notice with men who have, again, some surface level qualities of an alpha or attractive man or whatever, if they have a broken masculine framing, the moment that job gets taken away, the moment layoffs happen, the moment they don't have that internal fortitude, the healthy masculine that says, okay, I got to find a way. I got to downsize or decrease in the meantime. I got to discipline my spending habits or whatever accordingly, but I'm going to find a way out of this. And as a woman, especially if you're not a gold digger, by the way, and I do understand those people exist, what you need from a man is exactly that. Oh, you ain't got it, but I could see that you're going to get up and you're going to find a way and you're going to go get it and you're going to find a solution. You're not going to get out here and be pouting for 6 months straight talking about, oh, nobody wants to hire me. You're going to figure out a way, and that's what attracts a woman who's truly grown and in her feminine. Another benefit of being with an alpha male is that he is assertive. Assertive in the sense of this, because I'm always wanting to paint the picture between the two. He's assertive in the sense that you don't have to tell him things over and over again. You don't have to teach him every little thing. Yes, you have to properly communicate. Yes, you have to come to him respectfully in a tone that anybody could possibly receive what you're saying. But you don't have to feel like you're being his mommy, or that you're raising him to be the man that his mommy didn't raise him to be. You don't have to feel like that. The assertiveness comes in with, hold on, I'm always looking for ways to add value. I'm always looking for ways to be better. So at absolute most, all I need is her to guide me in the right direction whenever I've taken the wrong step, because I'm still getting to know her, I'm still learning her, and she should know herself better than I know her. So all I need is a little pointed finger in the right direction and I'm good. I got it from there. That's the assertiveness. And then from there, you don't have to snap your fingers or threaten to leave every time that you need something. His assertive nature is going to take over and find those ways to add value from there on. But when you're dealing with a man who's beta, when you're dealing with a man who's in his broken masculine energy, again, he only did it because maybe you forced him to begin with, or because he was from survival mode, coming from survival mode, and you threatened that abandonment wound. So the moment that the abandonment wound isn't triggered anymore with you potentially leaving, all of a sudden, all of that good behavior goes out the window. That's what happens when you're dealing with a man who's in his broken masculine. I know I'm moving kind of quickly again. For those who stay to the end, you're going to have a review of this so you can keep this handy, because y'all need this. And I say y'all, but what I'm saying is the world needs this. Nobody's really talking about this. And we're in a crisis of women who are underwhelmed, honestly, and overprepared, overqualified for the men that are coming their way. Because for so many years, it was hard on y'all to be feminine, how to be feminine, but nobody's really had this conversation for men in a way that's truly evolved. Like not just, oh, go out there and fight bears and go to the oil whatever rig and get money for the like, no, like truly emotionally, mentally, spiritually step into your masculine core, your healthy masculine core. We're in a crisis, if y'all ain't noticed yet, because we have such a disparity, and that's where a lot of the clash and the conflict and us versus them comes from, is that you as a woman, you can't deny what you need. You watching this right now, and you probably at this point definitely have related to something I've said, because you cannot deny the truth of what you need. I don't even know you, and I know what you're going through. That means I see it too without ever cross paths with you, even once. And then we have a lot of men who honestly just don't know these things, been misled, miseducated, didn't have the example. But let me be very clear. That's not for you to fix. It's for you to recognize and move accordingly. We don't have time to be trying to, like you as a grown woman, to be trying to recreate a whole adult. And maybe that's going to bother some of y'all or whatever, but that's just what I'm seeing. You don't get 500 years on this earth, 100 at best, right? So here's some signs that can help you recognize an alpha man early. And then we're going to talk about what attracts the alpha man, the truly alpha male. First sign is look at how much relationship clutter he has in his life. We typically like to look at an alpha male as one who can have so many women. Yeah, but just because you can have them all don't mean you need to be pursuing them all. In fact, that's a distraction. It's just like if you say, okay, well, I want to be in shape. Of course, you can have cheesecake, fried chicken for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if you want to be in shape, even though you can have those things, you're probably going to choose a little bit better choices, most times at least. But what you have is, in the equivalent, a lot of men who have their fridge full of nothing but syrupy waffles and candy and Skittles and all these different things, saying that they want something real. When a man is truly an alpha male, he understands that the woman truly put into his life in a productive role, a cohesive role, a safe and secure environment with him and his truly healthy masculine alpha framework, that woman is going to help expand everything that he's working on times 10. Really, way more than that. So he's not going to have a lot of clutter and distractions that pull him away from that, because he's led by his penis instead of being led by his purpose. Oh, man, I hope y'all moving. I hope y'all with me right now. I'm not trying to be mean to nobody, and I'm definitely not about to waste your time. But when you see a lot of relationship or romantic clutter in that man's life, he got 6, 7 regular girls that he's smashing on a regular basis. He's just not right now. He's just not in his alpha male energy. That's just not where he's at. Maybe he'll get there, but you don't need to be the one waiting or trying to get him there. He may have an ex or two that did him wrong, but he's taken the time and done the work to detach himself and disconnect himself from that. So now he can come in and give you a clean slate. Another flag of a green flag, should I say, of a truly alpha male is whenever you see, again, evidence of all the things that he rambles about is important to him. You should see evidence of it, whatever it is. If he's saying, okay, I'm trying to create youth programs. I'm trying to do this, that, and the other for people in my city, for da-da-da-da-da. You're going to see some type of blueprint. Maybe it's on paper. Maybe it's him just getting into the middle schools and doing some substitute teaching. Maybe it's some mentorship of his nephews or niece and nephews or whatever it is. You're going to see something in that regard. If he said that's what's important to him. And again, if he's truly an alpha male, he won't mind being accountable too. So you can ask him these things. Hey, I know you said you are into this or you're into that. You know, you want to go and get a higher level education in this particular area. Like, have you looked at self-educating in between time? Are you saving money right now for you should be able to see something. But when you hear a man just talking about all of this big stuff and you don't see nothing lining up, that's a red flag that he's not an alpha male at all. You haven't even been investing yourself in the things that you say are important. Your word don't even mean that much to you. How is it supposed to mean something to me? If you my sister, I'm talking to y'all right now as your big bro anyway. This how you evaluate. Hold on, wait. I'm not seeing enough to back up your words right now. So you haven't put that much premium on the things that you say that are important to you or your own word, period. A green flag of a truly alpha male is that you're going to be able to see evidence. And I'm not talking about 10 years ago, 5 years ago, back once upon a time when. Because an alpha male can somehow, and this does happen, he can get broken or he can fall off from that and come out of that. It's perishable. Just like you as a woman being loved properly is perishable. Every single day that man got to invest and he got to show up. The same thing goes for a man who's continuing to become and continuing to be the true alpha version of himself. Another way that you can identify a truly alpha male is when he is competent on his own shortcomings. A green flag that he is an alpha male is if he can tell you exactly what his shortcomings are, what they're rooted in, what kind of work he's already put in, and what kind of work he has left to put in. How he can protect you from those shortcomings, how they've expressed themselves, how he sees them expressing in other people around him so that he don't make the mistakes he hadn't already made, because he ain't just trying to learn from his mistakes. He want to learn from the mistakes of others as well. But he should be totally competent in his shortcomings. How is this man growing and he doesn't know what areas he needs to grow in? How is this man growing and he hasn't even opened himself up for somebody to tell him the truth about the ways that he needs to grow? He's just blamed somebody else, shamed somebody else, or shamed himself so he never has to deal with those ugly parts of himself. If he don't understand that his tone of voice tends to get wrong, his anger gets the best of him. He can sometimes get discouraged and call it depression when really he's just discouraged and personalizing it and making it feel like he's not worth going after what's set aside for him. You know, if he's not aware, self-awareness is key for an alpha male. How are you getting to a destination and you ain't got the directions? How is he saying, okay, I'm gonna get to the highest version of myself, but I don't have the directions to get there? Because the directions to get there are the same directions to get away from all the things that kept him in his mediocrity, in his broken masculinity. I'm gonna be real with you. If you don't see that this man is at least self-aware or has people around him who will tell him the truth, other men who will hold him accountable, he can't handle it. If you ever try to send him a video of mine or somebody else that you find value in or anything like that, and he's off top, he ain't gotta like everything about me or whoever it is, but there's always truth in what we're saying. So if he can't handle the harsh truth from another man, and he's not, that's a red flag. He's not an alpha male. A green flag of an alpha male is he's self-aware and he's competent. And again, all of the other things, he has fruit to show you that he's been working on these things he says is important to him: his growth, his business, his family, his children, his mental health, his physical, his finances. You see the trail, like, oh, there's a track record here. I don't have to just hear good words and cute. I can see he's been putting in the investment necessary. Now, with that being said, because it's important to understand how alpha men work, what brings them to that space of truly being an alpha male, in order to understand what attracts them. And a lot of women, again, get this wrong because we see the videos on TikTok and Instagram and all of that stuff. Let me tell you something. One thing, and this is a secret, of attracting an alpha male is whenever he looks at you and dealings with you and realizes he never has to fight unnecessary battles with you. I know y'all are looking for, well, what side should I be? What? No, that's the BS we hear on them podcasts, okay? A truly valuable aspect of you can be that there are no unnecessary battles for him to fight. What does that mean? That means you're not bringing him chaos that's not linked to something productive on the other end. You see, whenever you bring him chaos or you're in the lack of peace, right, and you bring that to him, the productive way to do that is one, of course, to be respectful, but because on the other side, you're letting him add value to you as you grow through that, and you no longer have to deal with all of that. You no longer are dealing with the overwhelm and overthinking for the same reasons because you're allowing him to add value. You're allowing him to show you that he's a safe anchor. He's a safe harbor for you. But whenever you just bring him stuff, this is where a lot of women that need to heal bring stuff because you want to test him and you just want to rattle him and you just feel like picking a fight. And you're so familiar with guys who want to fight all the time. That is an unnecessary battle. At the end of it, there's no growth. There's no resolution. It's just, I need to be reminded that you care. So I'm going to just rattle you. This is why I always encourage women to heal before they even go out here. Because true alpha males are going to start looking at, But when you don't bring him any unnecessary battles to fight, but you are a reflection of things he could still grow in, and again, you're able to be respectful with that, honoring with that, but you're able to show him, hey, this is a spot that could catapult you to the next level. That's the maximizing factor of a woman who is not just grown, but in her own feminine, the true soulmate of an alpha male. That's the growth factor. It's not that you come in and you carry him and everything that he's doing. You put all your money, you put all your dreams aside for this man. No, you're able to reflect to him where he needs to work on himself at to become the best version of him. That's a necessary battle to fight. He may have not have known or he never knew that at times he can be black and white in his thinking because he's so masculine and goes out into the world and that's how it works. So, in a relationship with a woman where he needs to have some level of feminine and masculine balance, more like 90, 10%, maybe 85, 15%, but he needs to be able to tap into that space where everything isn't black and white, this is what it is and hard, rigid thinking. He may need you to come in and help him balance that out. When you're dealing with a true alpha male, that's going to be one of his weaknesses. He don't know how to shut that part off that's at war with the world in order to come into harmony with this woman. And that's a necessary battle to now fight. Hold on, let me fight and let me battle the version of me that can't coexist in this space relationally with my woman, who's honestly the reason why I'm able to go to the heights I'm able to go to by God's design. He designed it that way. Another attractive trait a lot of women don't, I don't know if they don't realize it or they just don't implement it, but being top shelf. So if you ever drink alcohol, went to a bar or whatever, the top shelf. Everybody can't get that. Everybody can't afford that. But what we see a lot of being promoted right now on social media is unrealistic expectations, unrealistic No. To an alpha male, the things that people call unrealistic are actually very attractive. And it's secretly attractive, should I say, because you see the women with the lower standards getting the most attention. The women with the lower standards getting the man, that was after one woman held him accountable, he went to a weaker woman. And that woman is the one that gets the man. And we have come to believe, be more passive and docile and let everything just fly. When truly what's attractive to an alpha male is the woman that says, no, I'm not going for that. And not only says it to him, but says it to everybody else. When an alpha male comes into a situation, he knows the work he's put on himself versus other men. And when he sees that those men can't touch you, those men can't have you, damn your past. What are you on recently? Y'all know these podcasts like to think about, what's your body count and what's the this, that, and the other. Your body count, I'm not saying that there's no value to it whatsoever, but honestly, there's not. Because what if you went through a space where you was running it up, but now you're on something else? And as opposed to the woman that was a virgin up until the last 6 months, and now she's running it up, but her total body count is less than the next woman. No, we don't want to encourage whorism or whatever y'all want to call it, promiscuity. But at the same time, a true alpha male is looking more so at, okay, what is your capacity to grow into this vision that I have? What is your momentum coming into this? Are you in position now? That's what he's looking at. Are you in position now? And more recently, before we came into this, that's what's going to be very relevant to an alpha male. Not the things you did when you was 19 years old or in college or in high school, whatever it is. No, it's kind of a side note, but I just want to be real with you. When I'm saying reserved, I'm talking about where you're at now. Again, as a growth-oriented woman, whatever you was on 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, probably ain't what you on now if you are a growth-oriented woman. So right here, right now, in this season of your life, have you truly set up parameters where you're not touchable by just anybody? You're not low-hanging fruit. You're not desperate for validation from these guys. You don't get anything from that. You can appreciate positive energy, but a guy can't just compliment you and get conversation or whatever. Like if you don't like him, you don't like what you see, if you don't like what he represents, you don't rock with that. That's attractive to an alpha male. So truly being top shelf in your energy, the sexual access, the time access, being top shelf is one of the secrets to attracting a truly alpha male. Okay? Another attractive trait for an alpha male is whenever you have tangible investments into your growth. Those of you who are going to yoga, Pilates, or whatever, that's an investment into your growth. Those of you who regularly watch information that highlights things that maybe you didn't formally know or understand in that perspective, like being here, like being on social media, like books, like podcasts, like retreats, like whatever it is. If you're tapping into things that help you constantly grow, it's very attractive to a growth-oriented man as well. This is where being equally yoked is universal. You need the equally yoked man, he needs the equally yoked woman, because anytime he talks to you about something he wants to be better, he needs to know there's already momentum there. There's already momentum there, and he can see that with the investments that you're making and have already made into yourself. Another secretly attractive trait of the woman for an alpha male is whenever you have detached from your ex. I know you're like, oh, I ain't got no problem with that. I'm done with my ex. Okay, detached doesn't just mean you don't want him. Detached means for everything that he's done to wire you a certain way, wire your beliefs, wire your reactions, wire this, that, and the other, you have now detached that. You've rewired yourself back to readiness for the man who can do it right and consistently because he is right, not because he's performing right. Whenever you are mishandled for so long, and I have nothing but empathy for you guys that have been in a situation, you can acclimate. And now what used to be survival mode for you is your new norm. And so for an alpha male, what he wants to see is, okay, when I come into this situation, I'm not expecting a perfect woman. I'm not expecting a woman with zero baggage or anything like that, but I need to see that there's room for me. That seat is not taken. As an alpha male, I need to see that that man is not still in that seat of how she responds to conflict, of how she receives love, of how she recognizes real effort in a relationship, how she recognizes investment, how she recognizes correction, how she recognizes things. I gotta see that that seat isn't taken already. An alpha male needs to see detachment. Not, oh, I hate him, he can't get me, and this, that, and the other, but he still imprinted you in your soul. And this isn't to say you're not good or you're not worthy of love if you are still imprinted by what you've been through. It just says that there's work to do, sis. I'm keep it real with you. There's work to do. An alpha male also finds it attractive when a woman has a strong tribe she's connected to. You know how a narc, a manipulator, wants to isolate you because that weakens you whenever it's time for them to be held accountable or whenever their mask falls off? A true alpha male actually is the exact opposite. He wants to see that you're connected to a healthy tribe. A good tribe of women or like-minded individuals that can also hold you accountable, but more specifically, give you wise counsel and wise perspective, and that you guys have a joint lifestyle that's conducive to the goals that you guys are setting as a relationship, as a couple. If you have homegirls who are still, just wanting to find the nearest city where all the ballers are every week, and they just trying to get bottles popping, and no, that's not a good healthy whole tribe to be connected to. If you're the type of woman that doesn't have any social life, no friends whatsoever, no, that's not a good healthy whole tribe to be connected to. If all you got around you are toxic people that you have to keep at somewhat of a distance, or maybe you don't at all, that's not a good tribe to be connected to. What an alpha male wants to see is, okay, she's got good women around her. She has already prioritized the sacredness of her energy to where anything less than can't be around her for long. So maybe she has one or two friends that's a little question, but they on their way out. But she got good women. She even got some good trusted males. And I'm not talking about best male friends. Like, let me be very clear. I'm not saying he's an alpha male if he cool with you, being besties with your ex and y'all still, sleep in the bed together and stay in the house together. No. But he wants to see that you're connected to like-minded individuals because as social creatures, we are strengthened in numbers. We're strengthened in groups. For anything that you want to do, you get a part of a group that's doing it, it's going to be a lot easier for you. To be up on the days you normally would be down, to be strong in the days you normally would be weak. It shows balance. It shows that you are happy and you're coming from a place of overflow even before you met your person. Don't get it twisted. No man wants you to be, just codependent on anybody or, isolated. Like no real man, no alpha male wants you to be isolated because now everything's going to depend on him. And then he's got to wonder, why is it that she's isolated? Why? She don't like nobody? So now is there a fear there of connecting with others and therefore connecting with me? Is she unlikable? But whenever you have a healthy tribe, you may only have one or two real friends. Cool. That's a healthy tribe. You may have groups that you're connected to online who are interest groups. That's definitely a healthy tribe. Whatever it is. So if it's fitness, if it's finances, if it's spirituality, you need to have a healthy group of people outside of yourself. Now, let me be very clear. Attracting the alpha male is one thing, but what I notice is that a lot of women are able to be sexy enough, attractive enough in who they are in their energy and what they present to attract, but a lot of times they don't know how to sustain or even maximize what they get from that alpha male. And here's one thing that's going to help you do exactly that. Matter of fact, I would say there's two or three. One thing though is whenever you can understand that alpha male at his core, at an emotional level, better than he can even understand himself at times. So one of the first things I said was that he's self-aware, right? On his shortcomings. That doesn't mean he has a 100% crystal clear picture of everything going on with him. Nor does that mean that it's automatically your responsibility to show him these things. But as a woman, again, you are a reflector of ways he can be better. And by way of him having the right character, receive that and respond effectively, that's what maximizes that man. We always talk about the woman being the favor factor in a man's life. Well, it requires him to have the humility and the control over his ego to allow her to maximize him in ways that are uncomfortable. But here's another way that you would maximize and therefore make this alpha male fall madly in love with you and stay madly in love with you, is if you can help him understand himself at a core and emotional level better than he can understand himself. Because we have been made so functional and performative to a degree, but the alpha male has now started to shed that, if he's not shed that completely, but definitely adding value. We haven't learned how to truly exist at our highest emotional and spiritual level. Again, God made us and said, not good enough. I'm trying to make y'all in my image. I need one more piece of this puzzle in order to do that. So whenever you can do that and you can become that part that helps him increase his awareness that he already should have above average, that's going to help him sustain and be more in love with you every single day, every week, month that he's with you. Another thing that's going to help that man, that's going to really honestly make that man fall madly in love with you, because that's what happens with love. I know y'all like, how you gonna make it? No, love don't really happen with our agreement. We don't really choose to be in love or to fall deeper in love. We may choose to we may choose to give things a chance, but when love comes into play, it's too powerful. It's too powerful. So it starts happening long as the right pieces are there. The make to fall in love will happen even if we try to resist it. And one thing that's going to make a alpha male fall in love over and over and over again with you, deeper in love with you, is when, because you understand him sometimes in some ways better than he understands himself, you're able to speak life into him, especially to the parts of him that might be on life support. You know, when I've talked about alpha males in the past, when I've done seminars, whenever I've had these conversations at length, I notice from the feedback that a lot of people think of this man who's just pristine and he got wings and armor on and, you know, the freshly tailored. But you know, when we watch a movie of the hero and and whatever the guy is, the main star, the action star, we really respect the fact that he has battle scars and he's dirty. And, you know, you watching whatever heroic action movie, the guy who saves the day and he's gotten beat up in that process. And what I'm getting back to here is, as an alpha male, that's exactly what's happened in life. Yes, he's able to do his thing, add value, dominate, assert his will in the world, lead his family, but there's some wounding that comes in that. There's some getting beat up that comes in that. And so while he's not necessarily in survival mode in general, there are parts of him that may be hanging on by a thread, and that's what he's taking to God every day. But then God has created him a person that has that intuition, that has that connection with the Holy Spirit, that can speak to him if she's in her healthy feminine as well. And if that's you, because you've tapped in, because you've ridded yourself of the clutter of all those that mishandled you, and you're able to speak life into that man, he's going to fall madly in love with you over and over and over again, because he can't speak that life into that. Not the way a woman can. Y'all know when the Bible says the power of death and life is in the tongue. Honestly, I know God was talking to all of us, but I'm like, boy, he really had his eyes on the woman whenever he said that, because you know as a woman, and maybe you know other women, boy, y'all can be harsh with those words. It's powerful what you have the capability to do with your tongue, but that power goes the other way as well. So if you can use that power to speak life into that man, and not just, you can do it, go king, no, but true to what he needs, where his emotional needs are, and what parts of him are especially in need of that life that you can breathe. That, again, specifically to him, not in a general sense. Please don't go out here just saying words of affirmation and think that's going to work for an alpha male to fall madly in love with you. But no, you understand him. You see him at a level he couldn't even see himself, and you can speak to that. And then I can't stress this enough, but a woman who is always evolving as the years go on. I'm not talking about beauty. Of course, it's nice to look your best and feel your best. But if you constantly are discovering and uncovering and creating new versions of yourself, that's going to make that alpha male fall madly in love with you more and more as time goes on. And I cannot mention this without mentioning that just because a man, an alpha male, falls in love with you, is in relationship with you, doesn't mean he doesn't have a deal breaker. You know, the misconception is that once you're in a relationship with a man, he's just there. You know, even if you look at the divorce rate, 80% being women, 20% being men who file. But let me be very clear. Alpha males have deal breakers. Even in a relationship where they will leave. And I've actually seen alpha males who came in and were alpha males that if it was too much for them to leave in terms of what they would lose in the family and everything else, what they do is they shut down to the bare minimum of what just keeps things going, while they continue to try and apply themselves to the world the way that they once were. And now, of course, they're no longer the alpha male that they were. I've seen men spiritually get depleted. So one deal breaker, and I need to make this very clear, and everybody ain't gonna like this, one deal breaker, even in a relationship, is a woman who cannot receive an alpha male's love. That is one thing that will make an alpha male either leave or shut down to where he's no longer even the alpha male version of himself. Now, why do I say that? Because there's so many times where as a woman, again, you've been mishandled. You've never come across a true alpha male in real life. You've heard about it. You heard me speak about it. You maybe see some ideas of it online or something like that, read about it in a book, but you've never truly experienced the alpha male, the real alpha male. And therefore, he's so unfamiliar to you whenever you come across him, you don't know how to receive him. You don't know how to receive them. And when we like to talk about men, you know, they move on and they do everything with the next woman that the last woman was trying to get him to do. Let me tell y'all another dirty secret. A lot of times, that's not because the man was using the woman as an internship. I've talked at length about that. I know that exists. That's not because he was just using the original woman as a stepping stone. That's because that woman wasn't ready at times. Nobody wants to talk about that, but I'm your big brother. I got to give you the truth, and what you do with this information is on you. There are many times where a man will leave a woman and do everything with the next woman that the last woman wanted, and the reason is because there was such clashing going on with that first woman and her inability to receive that alpha male's love. They never even got to that part where he was doing this, that, and the other. That doesn't mean he was mistreating her. That doesn't mean he was mistreating her. Like, I'm not talking about, oh, he was cheating and then he got loyal, or he was abusive and then he got safe. No. Not talking about that. But whenever you see that the man in the next relationship, now he wants to travel. Now he wants to start the business. Now he wants to do this, that, and the other. Sometimes, and a lot of times, should I say, way more than we like to admit, that was the woman that was ready to receive his love. And the woman who was not ready, because, the human personality has to stay consistent with what it believes to be true about itself and what you came to be believing about yourself based on those who misinformed you of your worth, is that a man eventually gonna hurt you, or if he ever corrects you, then he's just trying to control you, or if he does this or whatever, and you get with that alpha male and you're not ready, that's gonna be your story as well, sis. Derek, I'm about to turn you off. I ain't trying to hit it. I'm just keeping it real with you. Now, I'm never gonna tell you something without giving you the solution or articulating the solution and making that available to you. But I gotta be real. If you're serious about getting in position for what you want, you also have to be serious about staying in position to not just keep what you want, but to get the most out of it. Now, if y'all want, because honestly, if you came to just know how to attract an alpha male and that frontline thing is all you want, you can stop it right here, go on about your business. But for those of y'all who want the full package, you don't want to just get the good man or whatever. You want to make sure that you also don't get in your own way once that man comes. Once God blesses you with the man that he's designed for you, continue listening. Because like I said, I'm going to give y'all the full summary, give y'all some free bonuses, but I also want to direct you to a couple of resources that may be of value to you. So I did a 3-part series on avoiding self-sabotage. And this is specifically for women who have been mishandled, hurt, disappointed, frustrated so many times. Whether you know it or not, you started to acclimate to that and almost avoid men, or you maybe have a reluctance to truly believe in men or be able to receive a man. So I did a 3-part series on how to get out of your own way in that regard. Now, for those of y'all who've always had good men and you good, like I'm not talking about you. You've been in thriving relationships your whole life. Everybody just safe and secured you and whatever else. But for those who have had everything opposite of what you know that you deserve, you're going to want to get my Avoiding Self-Sabotage series. Okay? Right now it's $1,497. If you go on my website, you can get it right now. That's one of those that I would highly recommend. For those who still are trying to resolve the hurt, get the closure, things that you weren't taught, you're trying to learn. This is where, as a big brother, I come in and I give you exactly what those steps need to look like in order for you to get out of your own way for the alpha male that you know that you deserve. Another resource I would highly recommend, and this is for those of you who have homegirls who have advised you at times, gotten in your ear, but you've never gotten anybody who truly understood a mature man, not just masculine, but a truly mature, evolved man. This is especially for those of y'all who are at least 35 years old, by the way. But my Emotional Needs of Mature Men Mastery program. This is where I go into depth beyond just, he needs sex, silence, and sandwiches. Y'all know how that's with. But a lot of men have not uncovered the complexities of their heart, their soul, their purpose until later on in life. But the problem is, a lot of times for mature men, is that we get to this place and we've done that. We understand ourselves, but we're dealing with women who are working on old programming. Women who were told, oh, just shut up and don't. No, actually mature men need the exact opposite in multiple ways of whatever it is that you've been taught. And so the Emotional Needs of Mature Men Mastery is, again, me giving you kind of similar to a PhD, but from a man's perspective of how to truly connect with a mature man, again, at his emotional core, how to uncover where he's truly at so you can speak life into where he's going, how to understand him beyond just the surface level of make sure that he's sexually satisfied. Because if you've noticed, like I've noticed, a man will leave that type of woman in a heartbeat. Cheat or leave. He like, oh, she did this, she did that. A lot of times y'all in a situation, I did this and I did that. Most times, first off, you weren't with a mature man or an alpha male. But you can get with that kind of man, do those types of things, and if he has need that he's uncovered that go beyond that you don't know how to meet, I hate to say it, but he's going to leave you. Now, you can wing it. A lot of women have. And again, they get bad advice from their homegirls, or they go and consult with guys who have never matured at all. And you could do that. But I've created a resource so that the information is available to you. Again, what you do with this is totally up to you. And that program is also $1,497, $1,497. According to the feedback, it's worth every dime, by the way. But again, this is totally on you. Now, not only that, I noticed that a lot of y'all are not yet at the place where you're already with that man that God has sent for you because you have not yet effectively blocked out the type of men that you don't want coming your way in droves. Some women never get any attention. Some women never get another man to look twice at them, but there are a lot of you who do get attention. You can get a man. You can be in a relationship today, but it seems that you're just constantly being disappointed if you ever give a man a chance. And that's because your deal breakers are still wrong. I'm not talking about the deal breaker of, again, cheating, lying, disrespecting you. Those are obvious deal breakers, but there are 10 deal breakers you absolutely need if you want to keep from wasting your time. And I did a program on that. It's really a follow-up to the self-closure series. The self-closure series, because once you get closure over the old, you also need to make sure you don't repeat the old patterns and continuing to attract those same types of guys. But there are 10 deal breakers. So the 10 new deal breakers to prevent heartache and humiliation program, normally a $997 program. That's what I would recommend. If that's the season of your life that you're in, you haven't yet met your Boaz, you haven't yet come across that guy who truly deserves you, and you need to improve your ability to not just stay away from, but keep those guys from even wanting to have a chance or think they got a chance with you. That's the conversation for you. That's the program for you. There are 10 total deal breakers as a woman who has worked on herself that you need to have in order to lock out the men who come to block your blessings of the man that you truly deserve. Now, I want to say all of those together come to about $4,000 and something dollars. But I've noticed that as a lot of you go through and you apply anything that I say, you may have questions. And let me be very clear. You can make plenty progress with that, but the game is always evolving. The game being the rules, what people are doing. 20 years ago, there wasn't even social media. Now we got a generation of men who feel like the options are endless. A lot of men anyway. The grass is always greener on the other side because there is social media. So dating advice, even from 20 years ago, 15 years ago, is not really relevant today. And the same is going to be true in the next 5, 10, 15 years from now. So whether it's me or anybody else, make sure you have somebody you can tap into that you trust that has proven to help you in some type of way so you can ask these questions and get specific help on what it is you got going on so you can get the results that you want much quicker than you could if you were just winging it and trial and erroring. Now, if you're really tired of trial and erroring, this is where I would invite you to my Self Crown VIP. I opened the doors to Self Crown VIP. That's my private mentorship community I started about 5 years ago. I only open the doors like 2 or 3 times a year, by the way. But if any of this is of interest to you or of value to you, I also want to advise you, if you want the most out of it, to get inside my Self Crown VIP private mentorship community where you can actually ask me questions based on the type of man that you're dealing with, his personality, what's being said. And I don't do this for social media. I don't do this anywhere else but inside of my Self Crown VIP mentorship community. This is where you can ask me questions every single week and you can get connected to other like-minded women. Right now we have somewhere about 2,800 women in Self Crown VIP. I've seen a couple of guys sprinkle in there, but I specifically designed this for my sisters who don't have that male voice, that trusted male confidant that can be objective and give the advice or the perspective honestly, brutally honestly at times that you need in order to continue making progress. If you want access to that, it's either $97 a month or you can save some money and you can get it for a year at $564 for the entire year. Now, some of you, that's a drop in the bucket. I know a lot of y'all getting money, you're doing your thing, whatever. But I also understand what it's like to see value in something, to want that growth, and also say, well, that's a lot to invest right now. It's kind of overwhelming. And I don't know how many of y'all are watching this right now, and just about everything that I've said so far has been of value to you, but maybe right now you don't have $4,555 for everything that I've listed. And so what I'm gonna do is right now, I'm gonna open up my fast action bonus. We're gonna call this It's My Turn bundle. And I'm going to bundle all of those programs as well as lifetime access to Self Crown VIP for just $147. One-time payment, not a payment plan, not a 3-part install, not a year, month by month. One time, $147 for the next